Well, hello there. How is everyone? You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. Guess what, baby? I'm back. I'm back in the UK. I made it. I made it. Spain is a lovely place. It is. It is. What are we talking about? Well, first video back, and you guessed it, we're going to be touching on Jay Slater, as there have been multiple reports in mainstream media today, so we're going to touch on them because it raises a question, as the family are giving apparently a bit of a stark warning. And it's a question that I think a lot of people have had, and I've certainly had, about the possibility of something that was apparently done. Let's get into it and have a look at this together. I'm going to do a live tomorrow, by the way. I was going to do a live tonight, but I haven't actually been asleep yet for like 24 hours, so I'm going to rest me bones. So it says Jay Slater's grieving mother, Debbie Duncan, was given an agonising warning following her son's autopsy, but reportedly found some very small comfort in the results. After a lengthy search in mountainous areas of Tenerife, Jay Slater's family learned his body had been found in a desolate ravine close to where his phone had last pinged. The 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer went missing after attending a music festival with friends on the island and tragically never made it back to his hotel. After spending a couple of hours, it would seem, with two guys, one of them being a convicted drug trafficker. The thing is, it pisses me off because it makes it sound like Jay Slater went there and spent the evening raving and partying, when the fucking reality of it is that he attends this event, the NRG Festival, seemingly gets separated from his friends, could have gone back to his own hotel, which was like 10 minutes away from the event, but instead hops in a car and then ventures to this property where ultimately he seems to spend a couple of hours and then needs to get the fuck out of Dodge. But these people are... They're no part of it. They're irrelevant to the investigation. Irrelevant. Someone takes a swan dive off a cliff into a ravine. There's stuff found next to him, not on him, next to him, but the people who were the last to see him are irrelevant in the investigation. So how in the blue monkey ball sacks do they know that Jay weren't taken out there or went out there to try and get away from some people who actually could have followed him, threw him over the ravine after a struggle, and afterwards found out that he'd left some stuff and they threw that down the ravine after him, hence landing next to him? I know it's a little bit on the tinfoil hat side, but how do you know? How do you know that ain't what happened? Anyway, I digress. The 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer went missing after attending a music festival with friends on the island. Tragically, never made it back to his hotel. Just thought I'd recap. It's believed Jay likely died instantly following a fall or plunge in the unforgiving terrain. Unforgiving that he decided was the best, or how did they word it? The path of least resistance. Utter shite. This knowledge has reportedly brought Jay's family some degree of comfort as they prepare to bring the Lancashire lad's remains back to England, where it's hoped he'll be given the send-off he deserves, as funded by you and me, the general public. And grieving mum Debbie Duncan has reportedly given was given a harrowing warning after the results of Jay's autopsy, which will have only added to her heartache. The Mail Online reports that the Slater family were advised against viewing Jay's body in the morgue, and so were unable to seek the closure many bereaved parents find in such viewings. Also, the questions of, is it definitely him? I'm just throwing that in there. Throw you a bone. In the same report, the publication revealed that the Slaters had found very small comfort from the likelihood that the teenager died instantly and so would have not suffered for long. After the remains were first recovered, Tenerife officials explained formal identification and autopsy results would take time, given that the body was very deteriorated. Jay's body was found 29 days after he vanished on the morning of Monday, June 17th, by members of a mountain rescue team from the Spanish Civil Guard. Now, his family will make the hardest journey of their lives as they hope to fly back to England with his body while appealing for funds towards his funeral. And taken their fundraising page, which has now exceeded the £70,000 mark as of this going live. Heartbreaking mum Debbie wrote, "We are working with agencies to arrange Jay's repatriation to the UK, and the remaining funds, along with any future donations, will be used to help with this. If needed to pay for Jay's funeral costs back home, we want to give our boy the send-off he deserves. So please continue to share and support our fundraiser however you can." The family has faced yet more scrutiny from trolls over the large sum raised, with spokesperson LBT Global rushing to their defence online. Chief Executive Matthew Searle said, "This hate comes from people who I assume have never had to repatriate a deceased loved one. These costs can top 20 grand easy. These people probably haven't had to arrange their own child's funeral, nor felt the need to make it the biggest and best they can. It's the last thing they'll ever do for their child." And what I'll do, I just want to come back and have a chat about this. That's not why people are pissed off. And I'm going to lay this shit out there bare. That ain't why people are pissed off. People are pissed off because what they're looking at is, whatever way you look at this case, now, it's either a case of misadventure, and all the other little intricacies around the case, all the little caveats that we've seen and we've been made sort of aware of by the ex-Met cop who put a load of shit out there and then fucking moonwalked away from it. Like, I didn't say that, but it wasn't me, it was them over there. And I've said this, I'm repeating myself, I get it. But forget all that. This is just misadventure then. So what are we talking about? We're talking about someone who went to a rave event, got fucked off his noodle, ended up, rather than going to his own hotel 10 minutes away from the event, goes to a property with some dodgy characters for a couple of hours and then decides, fuck it, I'm not going to wait for a bus. I'm going to walk through this perilous terrain, this unforgiving, perilous, dangerous terrain, and I'm going to fall off a fucking cliff into a ravine and wipe myself out. And then the public should now, and the verbiage of the send-off he deserves, that's the questionable bit. Well, what fucking send-off does he deserve then? What does he deserve the public to fund? What does he deserve the public to fund? Now, he obviously deserves a send-off. Of course he does. And the best possible send-off his family can give him. But look, there's public out there, and there's a lot of brilliant people out there. You know, if you've donated, I've put some money in the kitty. Early doors. But look, there's some wonderful people out there, and you're all fucking amazing. You're smashing it. But that's the issue, what other people have. It's not about being a troll. It's about people saying, well, hold on a second. What about all the other people who have become hurt, have become lost, they've died? Well, the public don't get involved in that. You don't see families generally reaching out and saying, look, want to give our son or our daughter a fucking amazing send-off. You didn't see in the Idaho 4 case, really, that the families reaching out and asking people to pay for their kids' funerals, did you? But in this one, it's about reaching out to the public and saying, we want to give our lad the best, what he deserves. And that's what's getting people's goat, because people are going to be like, what does he deserve? He's someone who does have a past where he was involved in a gang that stove somebody's head in with a machete and then laughed about it. And people are going to get, people are going to find, they're going to feel a certain way about that. But anyway, I digress again. I'm talking about, like, they weren't even able to see Jay, and I do feel for that. Do you know what I mean? Not say goodbye, and they've said, look, don't look at him. So that leaves two questions. Well, how the fuck do you know it was him then? How do you know it was him if the family haven't even been allowed to see that is 100% him? Not seeing it. And the fingerprint, and apparently came from his body that even in this, they say, was badly deteriorated. So was there enough left to get the DNA or the fingerprint and whatever it was in the time frame that they came back and said it was him, that's going to raise some questions. Let me know down below what you think. I'll catch you all in the next one.